Hey everybody, it's Master Gallengeist here, bringing you my review for Fantastic Four issue 37. And I really enjoyed this issue because it's a great kind of Fantastic Four issue, but it's also a great Halloween issue. And you kind of rarely get those Halloween issues outside of kind of like the supernatural ones. Sometimes, oddly enough, they'll pop up, but it's really kind of cool to see them. And this one has like a lot of stuff going on. We see Joe and Nikki figuring out how to do trick or treat. We have a nice kind of like friendship thing going on with Johnny and Spidey. We got Reed dealing with his stuff, and we got Alicia dealing with the Puppet Master. So it's a whole lot of different kind of stuff, and this issue just works them all together very well. So we start off and we see that the Profiteer, the being that had previously owned Joe and Nikki, lamenting the fact that since everything has stabilized in the galaxy, nobody wants to take risks anymore, and her revenues are falling. She's like, yes, I used to have these guys, Joe and Nikki, and it worked out pretty well. I wonder what they're up to. And we see that they're figuring out their own kind of battle plans of how to do trick-or-treat, essentially going and getting as much candy as possible. But the thing is, it works in Nikki's favor since she's a shape-shifting Skrull. She can like change her outfits and stuff like that. So we see them do this to get like a metric fuck ton of candy. We have Franklin and Val take him out. Sue, Reed, all these different kind of adults taking them out, and they're just getting more and more candy. And it's just like, holy shit! You see it, it's like, god damn. And while that's going on, we see that Ben is trying to keep Johnny company. And he's like, please, I don't want to be alone. Because they were doing pretty much a hangman thing of clobbering. And Ben's like, hey, I got to take my kids to trick-or-treat, man. But I set up a play date with one of your super friends. He said, you know where to meet him. And it's Spidey at the Statue of Liberty. He's like, oh yeah, Johnny, bring it in closer. But then his Spidey sense starts going off, whoa, okay, back that shit up. Back it up, back it up. And Johnny, of course, gives him the lowdown. He's like, wow, the whole cosmic ray incident thing with Doctor Doom. And he's like, my advice is like, hang in there. He's like, a poster? He's like, yeah, but, I mean, look at all the shit that he's gone through, listing it off. He's like, sometimes you just gotta stay in the game. There's gotta be something that, like, pops around to turn it around, man. And it's a nice, optimistic thing from Spidey. It was the kind of thing that I needed to hear, too. I'm like, alright, yeah, that's a good one, Spidey. I really appreciated that. And he's like, yeah, sometimes you gotta take stock of what's in it for you, like what's going right in your life. He's like, how about that girl, man? And he gives him the lowdown on Scott, as we see Spidey face palm, fucking do the bridge on the nose, and he's like, yeah, I got nothing. That sucks. We then shift over and see that Nikki and Joe are going to get ready for Ben and Alicia, and they've caught him. They lift up and show all their candy stuff. Like, yeah, we're going to return this. And see, I understand trying to get as much candy as possible. I would be like, I'd go to all different kind of houses, but they're trying to optimize to a point that's like, yeah, but there's other kids out there that candy would make their day too. So they go around in their best outfits. Of course, Joe's still calling him commander and everything, returning the candy. And Hiram's like, all right, yeah, you guys are good. And then the Profiteer pretty much pops in his ship. They're like, yeah, I want my property back. And Ben is like, no. What do we say, kids? It's clobbering time. And it's kind of cool to see them get into it with him on that as they start fighting her goons. And the thing is, and Colin's like, yeah, we got this. Unless you start like using gas as she then gets gassed. And this takes the narrative into kind of like a crazier direction because Joe is like, no, we're not going back. Screw that. And he goes pretty much into his complete fight or flight response of these people are threats. They're going to take us back to a horrible place. They must be stopped. And he starts killing people. And the thing is, Ben's trying to like use non-lethal force and everything. Is like, oh shit, this isn't good. Hiram, of course, is trying to like get Alicia out of there, but she needs to know what's going on. And I don't agree with Joe taking the people out, but I understand his mindset of why he's doing that, and he doesn't want that to happen. He doesn't want to go back and do that shit. He wants to protect his sister because they've got a complex kind of relationship. They were fighting each other pretty much to almost the death, constantly, and now they're in a place that they don't have to do that, and it's really good kind of writing. And of course, they're trying to kind of like stop. Well, then it's kind of getting a little bit nasty. Like Profiteer's like, I can only terminate them, but as it gets kind of close, we see like a flame kind of thing take out the ship, and we see that Spidey flips around and is able to keep everything from like falling down. I was like, yeah, what's kind of going on here? Kind of have to figure out what's going on. It's like, yeah, no drama like family drama. And we see that Alicia was going to use radioactive clay to like stop Joe from killing people, and that's of course when the Puppet Master pops up, and that's the person that's been having those speech bubbles in that different kind of text. And I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense. And he's like, listen, Alicia, don't do this. You did it on me to make sure that your life worked out. You did it on that woman for like to make sure everything kind of worked out as well on that. But this is a step too far. Even I kind of wouldn't do this. Be better. Be the parent you wished I would be. Be better than me to stop her from using the clay to make Joe stop killing. And you got to talk to him on this, because that's not right, man. And when even the Puppet Master is like, don't do this. This is really wrong. You have to fucking evaluate what you're fucking doing. So she stops. She takes out the clay, and I don't know what the fuck's going on. And then we kind of deal with the fallout. Also before this, because of everything going on, we see that Sue was trying to find Reed. He was listening to the message from his father, trying to figure out why this woman was so important, and he should have tried to connect with the rest of his family and everything. But Sue's like, no, that's not what you're really trying to ask, Reed. He's like, why wasn't I enough? Why wasn't he and his mother enough and everything like that? And it's really interesting to see Reed dealing with this, because it even really affects his parenting and his view on family. Because Nathaniel Richards didn't kept everything so secret and would adventure alone, I think it informed Reed's kind of way of how he views his family. Both are smart men, but you see Reed has taken a drastically different direction. He doesn't keep his family away. He takes them with him on his adventures and tries to help them and help them do their best, and they even help him do his best. And seeing him grapple with this is a really interesting thing, and I hope that we see a little bit more of this going forward and how it works with his character. But we see that like Spidey and Johnny kind of like popped up at the most opportune point to kind of like work it out, and then we see kind of why towards the end, as we see that Ben is trying to get through to Joe that he's not his commander, he's his father. He doesn't have to defer to him just on a kind of like militaristic authority. He's like, all right, I'll just use non-lethal force. It's like, no. You're of the House of Grimm. You're our son. You don't have to do this. You can feel better. We'll have your back. We'll stop that from happening to you. But the thing is, I understand why both of the kids are going to have the hard time doing that, because the adults in their lives did not look after them. And they got into a situation where the adults that should have taken care of them didn't. So it is going to have to be a repetition and a building up of that trust that Ben and Alicia are going to have to do. And things like this are probably going to happen a little bit more often. There will be kind of things that push Joe that it'll be like, I'm going to tactically kill this person to stop them from being a threat, instead of I will tactically take them down to stop them from being a threat. We'll have to see how that kind of shakes out. It's like, I like them dealing with this and seeing where this is going to go and how Joe and Nikki are going to kind of change from that. And we see that Johnny and Spidey popped up at the right time, because they kind of needed the Fantastic Four's help, because Johnny accidentally burned the Statue of Liberty, pretty much melted it, and he's like, my webbing's got like about an hour, and we really need to kind of fix that. Hey Alicia, can you sculpt metal? So it was kind of cool to see all these different kind of things at work. We even saw a little kind of thing where like Franklin and Val were like, yeah, we want to get to a party, so we'll help you do your trick-or-treat for a little bit, but we want to go. So seeing them do that stuff, seeing how they dealt with trick-or-treat and everything was kind of cool. Dealing with the Profiteer and their kind of whole relationship. Having that kind of cool Spidey cameo that it just fits, is able to like really get Spidey. I'm like, yeah, okay. He's just in there so like slightly or whatnot, but he still just makes that Spidey appearance, and it's like, It doesn't feel like a forced carry or anything. It's just like, whoop, he's up in there and is working it. And I just really enjoyed this issue. So those are my opinions on the issue. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Also like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.